Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and this is the first time that I'm going to be recording my face while also trying to read, so yeah, we'll see how that works out. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Pixel 3a devices and whether or not you should buy those. Google has never sent me any devices, and I don't have the Pixel 3a or the Pixel 3a XL, but on paper, I don't believe these phones are worth the purchase. So sit down and listen to why I think that you should ignore all those tech articles and skip the Pixel 3a. Now, before we get too far on this, I know that these are mid-range phones. These are not phones that are going to be compared to the Samsung S10 or an iPhone XS or anything like that. These are mid-range phones. These are also people that don't realize that you have to spend $800 or more for a quality phone, or I guess with the OnePlus 6T, $550. The Pixel 3a starts at $400 and gives you a headset jack. It gives you a slim operating system as well as an amazing camera and battery. And there's no notch on the screen. Surprisingly, from what I've heard, the screen is actually really nice. Speaking of the screens on the 3A and 3A XL are both made by Samsung, which is pretty cool. Right now for the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, they cost about $70 to $95 respectively if you wanted to replace a screen on your own. If these screens are already cheap and they're flexible OLED screens, I would assume that the 3A and the 3A XL will be cheap to replace as well. Speaking of that, the replacement process looks very similar to the Pixel 2, so that's also a good thing as well. Sure, you have to go through the front to get to maybe the camera or the battery, but that's not that big of an issue. They have all the normal stuff that the Pixel 3 has, like the amazing 12.2 megapixel back camera, Android 9.0 Pie, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage, similar connectivity like newer LTE bands and Bluetooth 5.0, along with a bunch of little stuff like stereo speakers. The battery life on the Pixel 3a and 3a XL is actually supposed to be better than the 3 because of the smaller processor and bigger battery cells. All of this and some more point to an amazing phone, but there are obviously some downsides. The processor in this phone is disappointing, to me at least. The Snapdragon 670 chip is a decent chip, but when you compare it to something like the Pixel 2 that has a Snapdragon 835 chip, it's pretty similar on the single core test, but on the multi-core test, the Pixel 2 actually shines. As well as the Adreno graphics chip is actually slower in that phone when compared to the Pixel 2. I can't say that the RAM is bad for only being 4 gigabytes because when compared to other mid-range phones, 4 gigabytes is a reasonable amount. Not for a flagship phone like the Pixel 3, but it's still a reasonable amount for the Pixel 3a. The phone lacks a premium feel because there's no glass or metal or anything like that on the back of the phone. Instead, it's a polycarbonate, which is pretty much plastic. With that said, with the glass being on the back and the metal being easy to scratch, maybe it is better that plastic is on the back. Speaking of the plastic back, the thing that really irritated me is the fact that it doesn't have wireless charging or water resistance, which, I don't know, to me it kind of defeats the purpose of having a plastic back. The reasoning behind that is because that may have been 2 certifications that they don't have to pay for anymore. Now let's talk about those cameras. Okay, so the back camera is fine. Obviously, you guys know this is a Pixel 2, it's not a 3A. But either way, on the 3A, the back camera is fine. The only issue that I have is the front camera, because just like the Pixel 2, it's a fixed focus camera. Now that may not be an issue for you, but on the Pixel 3, it actually has a focusable camera, which I thought was pretty amazing. There are some other features that are missing, like group selfie shot, but I don't know. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the wide angle sensor, but neither did the Pixel 2, and that was an awesome phone. So this next part is kind of a continuation of the bad part, but this is also the main reason why I'm making this video in the first place. I thought about buying this phone for a while. I even had a tab open with all the trade-in and trying to see what the best deal I can get out of it is, and I kind of came to the conclusion that I'm just going to buy whatever OnePlus device comes out next. So I'm not going to be spending my money on that. I might get a used one day, but I'm not going to be buying a new one. But then another thing popped up, and I thought, well, if I don't want this phone, maybe I should look at the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL. That's where I ran into this issue. So obviously, you just buy the phones. Don't buy them new, just used, refurbished, whatever it may be. Just not new, because $800, $900, that is too much money for these phones. And I mean, the phone's already like 7 months old, so it's definitely not worth buying. But when you go on Amazon, you can find the Pixel 3 for about $80 more than the Pixel 3a. And there's actually a Pixel 3 XL on there, and that one is actually $30 more than the Pixel 3a XL. $30. water resistance, wireless charging, better stereo speaker setup, and on the Pixel 3 XL, a higher resolution screen. Those are also flexible OLED screens on the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, so it's actually going to be better than the Pixel 3a and 3a XL, which have a non-flexible OLED screen. As you may remember, I did own the Pixel 3 XL, and I love that phone. Hated the price, hated the camera restrictions, but I did love that phone. Would I say that it's better than the 3A XL? Of course I would. $420 better? Not at all. Look, if you're going to buy the Pixel 3a XL, just buy a Pixel 3 XL, get over the whole lack of a notch and headset jack, and you'll definitely have a much better phone. Sure, it'll be used or refurbished, but that's not really that big of a deal when these phones have a 2-year warranty. I get why the Pixel 3a exists, and it's probably a good phone, but it's definitely not the best bang for your buck, and it's definitely not a powerful phone. I mean, the Pixel 2 has a little bit more power than the Pixel 3a, but these phones are for people who want a good screen, a good camera, 64 gigabytes of storage. I guess that's it. These are good phones, but I definitely would not recommend them. I mean, come on, Google, a Snapdragon 670 instead of a Snapdragon 835 or an 845 chip? This is honestly what made me realize that I don't want these phones. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Am I overthinking this? Either way, let me know in the comment section or on Twitter at MattofRWR, and feel free to follow me on the social media listed above. Also subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this, as well as review and repair videos. And hit that bell button so then YouTube actually reminds you when those videos do come out. Thanks for watching.